Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the World of Ideas show. It's your host, Hassan Henry, and Happy New Year. It's been a long time since we've been back here talking about these great ideas of the world, and I'm so happy that all of you are here with me. I'm just delighted to know that many of you who heard the show in the past were asking for it to come back, and also I've met a few people recently who was really interested in the idea of our religion in the modern world show. So we're going to move forward in 2015 and make it happen once again. For those of you who are listening in for the first time, the Religion in the Modern World show is a show that discusses big ideas, important ideas. And tonight we're going to celebrate the return of such a show. And also we're going to reflect on the events of 2014. And we're going to discuss where do we as human civilization go from here. And the title of this show, in fact, let me just read it out loud for those of you who may be listening over the phone and you can't see any of the info on the platform. Our show today is My World, Your World, Our World. Where do we go from here? So we're going to reflect back on 2014 and think about all the catastrophes, the pros and cons of life, and see if we're able to come together and think of this as our world. And to think about what we can do together as a human civilization, not just Americans or Russians or Puerto Ricans or Europeans, whatever, or Africans. We're going to think about what we can do as a people to move forward, because obviously it's getting hot up in here. It's getting hot in the world. We have terrorist attacks happening every other day. And again, there's nothing new under the sun, but it's scary out here for a lot of us. And so I think that on the World of Ideas, we can brainstorm and come up with some cool ideas to help the world simmer down. And that's what I want to do. That's my life purpose. In fact, I have this new mantra that I live by now, which is change the world one conversation at a time. Because we're not going to change the world with guns. We see what guns are doing. We see what missiles are doing. We see what all of these violent tendencies are doing to each other. I think it's time to just sit down and have a chat. And that's what I do. Every other day you'll find me in a coffee shop chatting it up with somebody that I don't know, from a different culture, from a different background, from a different religion. And oftentimes I meet people that I disagree with almost entirely. But, at the end of the day, we can sit comfy and talk about how each of us see life. And we can grow in spirit. And at the end of the day, when that person go their way, I go my way, I will have learned something that can help me understand other people better, so that we don't have to roll up our sleeves or pull out AK-47s. All right? So this is what we're going to try to do here this year. My whole mission now is to have the audacity to be optimistic about human civilization. I realize that a lot of people now, many people, especially close friends, they are sad, and many of them have given up. Some have just adopted a nihilistic, a pessimistic view of life. And I think I can understand where they're coming from, but somebody got to stand up and say, well, listen, we're still here. The world is not blown up yet. So why don't we make the best of it while we can? I'm not going to go down without a fight, in other words. So this is what we're going to be doing this year. I'm going to be having guests on here talking about ways we can live better. In fact, we have the next 2 weeks lined up with some special guests, and I'll talk more about them near the end of the show. But the whole idea is that when you come onto this show, expect to hear something that can help you move forward in life as a human being, as a person, as a citizen, as a mother, as a parent, as a child, as a student, as a teacher. This is what we're going to do. And it's going to take each one of us to spread the word. We're going to have to spread the words. We have to spread ideas, because ideas that are positive do not get much airplay. And so today's show, I'm going to spell out some of these positive ideas. Of course, first I'm going to recap on the negative ones, because, again, I know we're not living in a utopia and a dreamland. Let me let you all know now, for those who take me to task, put me on a stand and say, well, listen, you can't be naive. You have to know that there are people scheming, there are conspiracies happening, people are trying to make as much profit as they can, Others are trying to snatch all the civil rights away. Others just don't give a damn about other people. I feel you. I understand where you're coming from. But you know what? There are others like myself, who are willing to do the best for each other, to try to live up to this whole notion of my brothers and sisters keeper. And I'm not trying to steer one person and steer you in one religion or another, but I think that's a principle, although obviously it's in the Bible. And no matter if you're a Christian, you're Jewish, or you're a Muslim, or Buddhist, I think this is a core principle, treating each other like brothers and sisters. So this is what we're going to move on. So now,